I could tell you yoga teacher training is the best investment you'll ever make and leave it at that. A lot of trainings do. But I respect you too much to sell you a dream without telling you what it actually looks like on the other side. I'm Sage Rountree. I've been training yoga teachers for more than 15 years in studios, online, in workshops, and mentorship programs. I've watched people's lives genuinely change through teacher training. I've also watched people spend thousands of dollars and walk away confused about what to do next. The difference comes down to a few things, and I want to be completely straight with you about all of them. If you're at the beginning of this question, just testing whether teaching might be your thing, I have a free mini course called Find Your Teaching Voice, link in the description. It's a low-stakes way to explore before you commit anything. Okay, let's get honest. This is for you if you are a dedicated practitioner who feels called to share yoga with other people. Not just to deepen your own practice, although that will happen, but to actually stand in front of a room and guide someone else through an experience. You feel it in your gut, even if your brain keeps finding reasons to wait. You don't need to be the most flexible person in the room. You don't need 10 years of practice. You don't need to look a certain way or have a certain body. What you need is the desire to serve other people through this practice of yoga and the willingness to learn how. But yoga teacher training is not for you if you want to deepen your personal practice and you're not actually interested in teaching. That's completely valid. There are wonderful immersions and workshops for exactly that. But a teacher training is designed to make you a teacher, and the work is oriented around that goal. If teaching isn't the goal, a training might leave you with skills you never use and a certification that sits in a drawer. It's also not for you if you are expecting yoga teaching to replace your full-time income immediately. It can happen eventually, but it takes time and business skills on top of teaching skills. If you're in a financial position where you need a quick return, that's important to know going in. Here's what nobody tells you about yoga teacher training, and it's the part that makes it worth it in ways you don't expect. How you see movement changes. You start noticing things you never noticed before in your own body, in other people's bodies, in the way a room breathes together during a class. You develop eyes for this work. How you listen changes. You learn to hear what people aren't saying. The student who always sets up in the back corner, the one who skips every inversion, the one who cries in Shavasana. You learn to hold space for all of it without needing to fix anything. How you teach changes, even if you never teach yoga. I've had graduates tell me their teacher training made them better parents, better managers, better nurses, better coaches. When you learn to read a room with presence and care, that skill doesn't stay on the yoga mat. Your relationship with imposter syndrome changes. Every professional yoga teacher I know has dealt with imposter syndrome. You graduate and suddenly the list of things you don't know feels infinitely longer than the list of things you do. A good training doesn't eliminate that feeling. It gives you the tools and the community to work through it instead of feeling frozen by it. I want to give you the honest numbers because I think you deserve them. A single group class typically pays $40 to $75. Teaching 2 classes a week at $50 each is about $400 a month. That's a solid side income. For a lot of people, that's enough. They teach a few classes a week, they love it, it adds meaning and a little bit of money to their lives, and they keep their other career. Building yoga into a full-time income is possible, but it usually means diversifying. Group classes plus private sessions, plus workshops, plus retreats, plus perhaps online content. That takes time and it takes business acumen that most trainings don't cover. Other trainings will sell you a dream. I'd rather prepare you to teach well and let you build from there at your own pace. 3 things separate a training that is worth it from one that isn't. First, you leave knowing how to build a class from principles, not just follow a script. Recipes run out. Principles carry you through every room, every body, every surprise in class. Second, you have practiced teaching with real feedback from an experienced teacher. Not just peer feedback, although that's also useful, but mentored practice teaching where someone who's been doing this a long time watches you work, and tells you specifically what they see. Third, you have somewhere to go after you graduate. Mentorship, community, continued access to your teachers. The training doesn't end when you get the certificate. It ends when you feel like you know what you're doing. And that takes longer than any 200-hour yoga teacher training program can confer. I'd love to hear from you. What is pulling you toward yoga teacher training? Is it the teaching, the personal growth, or something else entirely? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If this video resonated and you want to explore what your teaching voice might sound like, grab my free mini course, Find Your Teaching Voice. It's a short series that walks you through the foundations and gives you a real taste of what this work feels like from the other side of the room. Link is right below in the description. If you haven't watched it yet, my video on how to choose a 200-hour yoga teacher training breaks down the 5 specific things to evaluate. I'll link it right here. And if you're finding this helpful, please subscribe. I've got a whole series on yoga teacher training coming. See you in the next one.